Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Deepa Robbins from DeeZinesByD, and this weekend I have a bit of a treat for you. I have a little mini series that I'm going to show you. It's just a two-parter. So I have one part today and I'll post the second part tomorrow. And really all I've been doing in the last week is making a whole bunch of Christmas tags. So up until now, so from January, not January, from July until now, I've been making a whole bunch of Christmas cards just to make sure I was prepared. And now all I have really left to do is make some tags. So what I did was I took some of the leftovers. So when I'm making my cards, I keep all of those scraps, die cuts, because I always cut extra since I do decorate the insides of my cards. I always make sure I have extra. And then even after decorating the insides, I still have extra from that. So I keep all of those aside in like a little plate or a little bowl, or you can keep it in anything, any type of container. And then when I go to make my tags, I can make them match the cards that I've made by using those leftover pieces. And that's basically what I've done here. So today I have 3 tags to share with you. Some of them match some of the cards that I made because they have the same leftovers in them, and some of them don't, but they all work. So the main set that I'm going to be using is this PinkFresh Studio Classic Tags, and this is really cool because it's called Classic Tags with, I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact name, but it's Classic Tags with all of these little images that you can kind of inset inside the tags to get little windows. And what better to do with windows but to make a shaker card? So I will be making a couple of shaker cards, and I'm using an older set by PinkFresh to show you how to do this. I know recently they released shaker tags, and I don't know about you, but I can't get them anywhere. So I basically decided to use what I have. Now I have one set there off on the left. I haven't used that. Those were the letters by PinkFresh. They're just a little bit too big to fit on my tags, so I had planned to use it, but I didn't in the end. Let's just move on. Let's start with the first tag. So I'm using this paper pad by Pebbles. It is actually a pad that came with one of the tag kits that Simon Says Stamp came out with a couple years ago. And I mean, I still have this left over. This stuff lasts you forever, so you just got to remember to use it when you can, right? So I cut out a piece to kind of put behind that little cutout area on the top tag. And now I'm stamping the back. So those 2 Simon Says Stamp sets that I showed you in the beginning are ideal for this. They both came out year after year, so last year and the year before, for the Simon Says Stamp tag kits. Now right now they have another tag kit out. I didn't actually get that one yet. So what I tend to do is use the kits from the previous year because, sometimes it takes a bit to get to you, especially if you're not in the States like I am. I end up using them the next year. So they always do come in handy because, Christmas comes every year. So anyways, I went ahead and stamped out those little sentiments and then the to and from on the back tag. So I have 2 pieces that I cut out, one for the front and one for the back. And on the front, I actually stamped this tiny little Merry Christmas with some Encore Metallic Gold ink, but it didn't look that great. It didn't look gold enough for me. So I did add some Altenew Rose Gold embossing powder to heat emboss that one. Now I'm going to make the little window for my shaker card. So I have the window die cut out using those classic tags. And now I have to add a piece of acetate. Now you can use any acetate for this. You can even use packaging components. I just have a whole bunch of acetate on hand, so I just cut a little bit from my scraps and put that on there with some strong tape. I find that using a tape runner or something like that works better because it dries quicker and it's less messy for making shaker tags. Now the next step is to add your foam. So with this set, you're going to find that you're going to have to cut like a really thin piece of foam for the left and the right sides of the tag, and then for the top and the bottom, you can make it as thick as you want. And the main point with this is to make sure that that entire rectangle area is enclosed so that your little shaker elements don't fall out. So as you can see, I've added a whole bunch more foam tape on the top of that tag. That's going to continue to keep that dimension after I add the bottom part of the tag. And right now I'm just adding some clear white seed beads. These really, you can get them from anywhere. And on top of that, I decided to add these clear gems. Now these are actually from my jewel picker. So if you're one of those people who goes through a lot of jewel pickers, I know sometimes they have little bits that you can buy new and attach them. What I do is I tend to take all those little gems out and I keep them. And they're like 100% free, or I guess in the price of your jewel picker, right? So never throw those things away. I think I actually got a lot more of those little gems from my cell phone cases. I get them on Amazon, and they come with this little string. And the string has like all these little gems in them. So I literally cut the string open because I don't use that. And I empty out all those little gems, and they are just like the icing or the cherry on top of the sundae. They're just the extra little bit of bling that you can just keep and use for all your different projects. So always think about that when you get products and there's bits of it that you don't end up using. If it has some bling or something nice in it, you might as well keep it aside and use it for your own creative projects like this. So I went ahead and I colored these poinsettias. I've actually shown this in previous videos. So what I do is I cut them all out of white, and then I put them back into the negative space, and then I color them, because it just makes it easier to color and blend, and I don't have to kind of hold down the little pieces, especially like these tiny little hollies here. So the hollies are actually from the Spellbinders Christmas Bloom set, and I also have like the little bells for the little branch on the left side there that I colored earlier. Then I'm going to take all those pieces out, including those poinsettias, and then they look really nice. So the poinsettias are from the Pop-Up 3D Sled die, that die set that came out a year, I think it was last year. It was really nice. And then the little pine branch, I think it also comes from that same set. So I'm using a whole bunch of different sets just to put all these little pieces together, because I think it's really nice to be able to mix and match all the sets that you have to get a completely unique look for the creations that you create. So now I'm putting together that little branch. So it has like these little bells that I did in red using the Spectrum Noir Triblend marker, and then I added those little circly bits with some Sizzix Opulent Gold Glitter cardstock. So I'll arrange this all here on my tag, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the way that these greens and the reds fit together and how they really stand out on that white background on the tag. And that's what I get. Now let's move on to the embellishments. So this set is new. I haven't used it. It's actually from the All Aboard card kit from Spellbinders. I had that kit when it like first came out, and I still haven't used all the pieces in it because there's just so much to get through. And these little gems, I have to say, are my favorite because they're these 4 different nice colors for Christmas, and they have this like gold glitter in them, which is really nice. So I used these on a lot of my tags that I did, and they look absolutely gorgeous. Now I love this stuff. I love embellishments, and if you've seen my videos, you know I kind of overdo it sometimes, but I would buy the All Aboard kit just for those embellishments. I don't know if they sell them separately, but I really hope they do in the future because I'm sure that I'm going to run out of them. So now I'm just adding my string. I'm actually just using some jewelry string. This is a little bit thicker. It's not the thin string, and it's nice and shiny. That's why I love using it. So I'll move on to the next tag, and I'll be using some Kaisercraft Peppermint Kisses paper from that paper pad. And this is just like a nice like sea foam green, a nice little aqua turquoisey, like light turquoise color. Now you can see I already stamped out the back. It was just like I did on the last card, except I did this one all in black VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And then I attached that front piece. So now I want to make a bow. I have my Honeybee Stamps Shine On dies. Now this is a nail polish set, so it makes like a nail polish bottle, and it actually has like a little bow in it. So I figured, hey, I can use this. I mean, I don't have any other bow dies, so this is just an example of how you can take the sets that you have and make them work for you. Like, who would think to use a nail polish set for Christmas cards, right? But all I'm really using is the bow from it, because I noticed I don't really have any bow dies. So this worked perfectly for me. So don't forget to look through your stash and just look at what you've got, because I was so close to buying some bow dies, and I was like, no, I know I have one somewhere, right? So it's really good to kind of keep all that kind of stuff in mind. It not only saves you money, but you already have this stuff on hand. So you really don't need to be wasting any extra money on extra products when you have them already. So now I'm going to put together the main portion of the tag. I'm using the Simon Says Stamp Eucalyptus Wreath die, and I actually cut it out of some Sizzix Opulent cardstock. Again, this is the silver pack, but as you can see, you not only get like the mirror cardstock, which is the wreath I'm going to put on the top, you also get that wreath on the back, and that's like a shiny gray cardstock. It's not just gray, it's got a shine, it's got a shimmer to it, which is really nice. This is why I love those Sizzix Opulent sets of cardstock, because it just gives you so much variation in one color, and you honestly never run out. So now I'm going to add the bow, and now this sentiment is from the PinkFresh Studio's Holiday Sentiments plate and die. It's a whole plate that has a whole bunch of sentiments on them. You foil it, you use the die that cuts all of these sentiments out at once, and I've shown this before. I make them ahead of time and just keep them separately. I foil them in a bunch of colors. This one is in Spellbinders Matte Gold. And then when I'm doing things like this, where I am using leftovers and I don't want to be making a lot of new stuff or putting together a lot of new dies, these come in handy because I can just kind of grab the sentiments that work and stick them on. So I added all these little tiny flowers, which came from the Spellbinders Santa's Fireplace set. And that just ties in that aqua color from the bow and that background piece from the paper pad. And now I'm just adding all the little embellishments. So actually those tiny little gems that you saw in like a line of stickers that I actually used an X-Acto knife to place on, those are from the dollar store. So really they cost nothing per gem. So I love going there and stocking up on these things. And literally you can go anytime because it's just $1. So anyways, now I'll stamp the back of the final tag that I'm doing today. And as you can see, I did that all in black as well. You can add color, make your sentiment a different color. It's completely up to you. So I have the bottom part of the tag where I stamped the to and from at the back. And now I have the top part of the tag, which you can see I cut that little lattice die out of the front there. And it just creates a bit of interest. Like I'm not adding any paper in behind that, but you can see the white on white is stunning by itself. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of some interest here with these dies. This is the Simon Says Stamp Simple Stem die. And I cut it once out of gold mirror cardstock. And the second time I cut it out of this pattern paper. So this pattern paper that I have, it's just like a stripe, white and gold, white and gold. So I thought it just created a little bit of variation there. I made that little bow out of some red mirror cardstock, and then I attached that Joy to the World sentiment, which is also foiled with Spellbinders red foil. And I'll go ahead and add these beautiful red and gold embellishments from that All Aboard card kit. And again here, the tiny little gems, all from the dollar stores. Like, can you count how many are on there? And that's only half of the pack. This lasts you forever. I swear I bought this in I think it was 2015. It's lasted me that long. So definitely one trip and you're done. I trust you, it'll last you at least a decade. So anyways, I'll move on to the string. So for this string, it comes from the same set of jewelry string that I have. It's just a nice shiny red that goes perfectly with this tag. I decided to use the red because the red is not as obvious on this tag, so it just helps it stand out a little more. And that's that tag complete. So those are the 3 tags that I made in this little mini series. This is the first part. I promise you I'll post the second part tomorrow. And I hope that you were inspired to go ahead and make some tags of your own. I guarantee you when you're making your cards, if you save all these little pieces, you'll have tons of tags to make at the end, just like I did here. I know some pieces I added some new pieces to. I didn't use all of my leftovers, but I mean, it's completely up to you what you want to do. If you have more time, you can use more leftovers. If you don't have time, you can use more leftovers. And if you do have more time, you can go ahead and create more pieces to put on these tags. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like this video if you liked watching it, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be notified of any future videos. And I really hope that you were inspired to make something for yourself. I'll leave you here with a playlist and another video that you might want to take a look at. Have a great weekend, guys, and stay tuned for tomorrow's post. Bye.